Yeah, basically I just search whatever the zeitgeist of the conversation is, or how I feel it's going to be for the first time. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the With Phillip Garcia show. I am your host, Phillip Garcia. We're having a better time this week. Last episode, I sat by myself and basically sulked for an hour.
I do that every day, just not on camera.
Just not on camera.
Usually in the shower.
It's like one of the few things my father taught me that like I felt like it was a constant repeat lesson. He's like, if you ever get on television, do not cry. Like that was like one thing that my dad constantly. I don't know why. I'm with Zach Gallmann, everybody.
Hey guys.
Zach is like many things. I met him as a door guy, which I'm sure is literally the least interesting thing about Zach. But then I met you as a comic. You came here because of comedy, right?
Yeah.
But before that, you were a world champion strongman?
No, I was a national champion.
Champion.
Strongman athlete, and I competed internationally.
Gotcha.
And I was a strength coach for about 12 years as well.
Yeah, we were talking about like that, and I said something earlier that made me realize like you went from doing something like strongman competition is there's no faking it. You know what I mean? Like you, in comedy, I told you like we were talking earlier. I said, yeah, you really can't show up and fake that, can you? And then I realized like in comedy, it's 95% of it is showing up and faking it. So you've literally flipped your world on its head. And like you're stepping into the arena of socialite bullshit.
Yeah, and it's hard for me. I'm not a super social person, and it's not
right.
It's not because I don't like people or anything. I'm just a quiet, introverted person. I like to observe more than talk. So, it's very different. It's 100% different. And like coming from that life to being in the gym 16 hours a day, and then coming here and like having to go out every night. Which in my 20s. I used to hang with the best of them, but now I'm almost 40, and like,
right,
it's tough, man. But I moved down here. I fucking just threw away my life to come down and do this. So
I guarantee you have more energy than me, though. Like I'm telling you,
maybe
like, there's no way. I've been watching your stories, dude. I'm like, Zach is a shredded dude. You're like, I don't. You make me feel
poverty, though.
That's
just fucking poverty. That's I've worked out like 4 times in the last year. Like,
while you were doing those things, like you were in the military, right? Too.
Yeah, I was.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I was in the military for 4 years.
Gotcha.
Well, 5 years if you count the National Guard year, but I don't.
What branch after National Guard?
Well, I did 4 years active in the Army. Was the 82nd Airborne Division. I was a paratrooper and a medic.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Is that where fitness like really? I'd imagine that's where fitness really crept in, or was it like before then in high school?
It was before then. Like I have a joke about it, how I was a fat kid in the 90s, which is a lot different than being a fat kid today, just because, nobody gave a shit back then. Like, and my mom was like a personal trainer, and my godmother owned a gym. And so when I was about 10 or 11, I kind of got in there and started lifting. I remember in 7th grade, we were just sitting around benching, and I benched like 155. I just kind of fell in love with it, and I just every day since. Well, I used to.
That's like 2 big plates and a tin, right, on each side, basically.
Yeah.
That's a lot for 7th grade.
Yeah. So I was 12 years old, and by the time I was out of high school, I benched 350, and it's just something that I fell in love. I'm short and stocky, and I have broad shoulders, so it just kind of naturally came to me.
I'm guessing like it's the feeling of hitting new goal weight must be pretty addictive.
Yeah. Chasing numbers on the bar is more addictive than like body size. Like honestly, you get to a point where you need enough weight to be competitive, but like you're not really worried about aesthetics. It's more, I remember the first time I deadlifted 600 pounds, I was like, all right, well now I want 700. Once I deadlifted 700, I was like, all right, now I want 800. Deadlifted 800, then I was like, all right, now I want 900, which I haven't done yet. But aesthetically, it's never, it's never really crossed my mind. It was just eat enough to recover, and I've been as big as 330 pounds. I won the national championship at 200. It was a 275-pound national championship, but I was 265, and so eventually you get to learn how to use your weight better. But
let's see here. I actually think you put some videos on your Instagram, no?
Yeah.
Let's see here. We can go there. I was going to say something. Was there ever a day? No, that's not a good question. I don't want to fly. I feel like Chris Farley sometimes on these interviews where I'm like, remember when you were in Die Hard and you walked on the glass? Yeah, that was pretty cool. Remember that? So I try not to do it like that. It's really not that Apparently everything is. This podcast is just a. Where would I find you?
Z-Gall, Z-G-A-L-L-S.
Z-G-A?
A-L-L. Am I Shadow Man or some shit?
You were earlier, dude.
S. There's just an S and then it'll be... What the fuck?
Yeah, man. It shouldn't have taken me that long. Let's see here what they'll be able to see. There's you. You got a quick release. I saw that yesterday. But here's just you. What was this?
So this is me. This is me in Lithuania training with Zydrunas Savickas, who's the most winningest strongman of all time. He's 4-time World's Strongest Man champion. He won. There was a time where World's Strongest Man and a couple other. This is 375 pounds.
Jeez. That's me, and then 125 pounds on top of that.
My best ever is 400 for a double on log. But yeah, so I spent 3 weeks in Lithuania. I was actually filming some stuff for a friend, and I trained with Z. That's World's Strongest Man.
Uh-huh.
Me and my friend Elliot holding the thing for Brian Shaw.
You were saying about this one. You were in Lithuania?
I was in Lithuania training with Z for about 3 weeks. If you're strongman fans, know him as Big Z. His name's Zydrunas Savickas. Is how you actually pronounce it.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and it was a cool experience. So it's cool, like and in this world, it's like Z would be like Tom Brady,
right?
And so like to be friends with one of your idols, who 10 years ago, it was one of the coolest things I ever experienced.
No doubt, dude. I mean, anything that brings you all over the world is amazing. It's crazy that you went from doing something that was doing it for you to something that's just like a whole other avenue. You know what I mean? Where were you at with that when comedy? Let's get you off the hospital bed. How about that?
All right. Yeah, I went. That was atrial fibrillation earlier this year. That was not fun.
Does it have anything to do with like all the weightlifting, or?
I think that's a 600-pound front squat right there.
This one is?
Yeah, 600 or 620.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's 600 pounds.
Holy cow, man. We need you at the door. Where are you at? So you really made a complete transformation flip. Where were you? What were you doing? What was happening when you decided to just like completely? I mean, would you say it's a complete life change? How much of you do you have from yourself now? Are you finding ways to integrate that back into your daily?
No, not really.
Your head almost exploded.
Yeah, my head turns into a cherry tomato a lot.
Yeah.
So honestly, like, it sounds cliche, I guess, but I've been in the comedy since I can literally remember.
Right.
When I was a kid, my parents used to get me these old-time radio shows. So, like, I would fall asleep listening to Jack Benny, W.C. Fields, Abbott and Costello.
Uh-huh.
And I just always loved it. And then, like, I was 7 or 8. Jeff Foxworthy was getting big.
Mm-hmm.
And all those guys. And, like, high school was Chappelle, Chris Rock. And so I've always wanted to do it. I just,
What point was Chappelle at during high school for you? Because we're there's a little bit of an age difference between us.
Yeah, I graduated 2001. So
I graduated in 2014.
Yeah.
But
so he just came out with why can't it's escaping me? It's one with the baby. I don't know why I can't think of the name of it. Baby. Anyway, but like, so I just honestly, like, I didn't know how comedy worked for forever, so I was just like, all right, I'll go to the army, blah blah blah.
Right.
Always just following it. I follow comedy like most guys follow sports. Like, I don't really watch sports for as much as I lift, and I'm an athlete, whatever. I just, I've always been comedy on Pandora, comedy on Sirius when it first came out, radio. Like,
when did you write your first joke though?
Probably about 7 years ago.
Because like, and you felt that, right?
Yeah.
You felt when you wrote it down, you were like, what did I just do?
Yeah.
And you're like, what do I do with this now?
Exactly.
So you're walking around with like a piece of paper, literally like, where does this ticket go to?
Honestly, I didn't learn about it until I started listening to like Rogan and stuff, because he would bring comics on. They would talk about how they would, working material out. And I was like, oh, I thought these guys were just so fucking brilliant. They were getting up there and like riffing for an
I wonder
hour.
if he knows that he did that for like this entire generation of comedians. I mean, how many were just organic comedians started because they just thought they were funny people and they knew of stand-up comedy being an art form? I would say not many. include like in college, listening to Ari and all of them, like when it was Ari, Rogan, Bert, and Tom all in the same episodes and stuff like that, like episode 500, and they were just talking shop about comedy. That's when I was like, oh, that's the avenue you have to take. You have to go into the club, even though that seems like the worst idea, and then get on an open mic. And that's even worse idea. And then just do that for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then they somehow sold that to us.
Yeah.
They somehow made it sound like fun, dude.
And yeah, it's, well, and the thing too, when I was starting to get into it and like coming up, there was like there weren't a lot of comics that were famous. It was a couple people on HBO.
Right.
And then Comedy Central. Like, dude, I remember when Comedy Central used to be on for like 12 hours a day. That was it. It was like
it turned off.
Yeah, like I guess they owned it with another company or something. But
that was a thing that TV channels used to turn off at a certain time, like when they ran for a certain time.
Yeah, so Comedy Central used to be. It was from like 8 in the morning to like 6 or 8 at night. And dude, I would watch like Kids in the Hall and like Premium Blend. Like that's how I learned a lot about. But yeah, so I just figured like, oh man, like there's not a lot of them, so these guys got to be the most brilliant, funniest people in the fucking world. And
right.
So. But then, I learned like Rogan, I started listening to podcasts and I started hearing how the process went. And then honestly, dude, it was just not having the balls for fucking so long. And then, basically the precipice that changed the tide was fucking a breakup.
Yeah.
I was supposed to move out to Phoenix in April or June. And
mine was April.
Yeah. And so
I moved out here in April.
That went south, and so I was just like, you know what, fuck it. And I was sick of doing the strength. Like, I like being a strength coach. I like helping train people, but it's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week job because you're in the gym for 16 hours. Then you're getting texts. It's like having 15, 20 girlfriends.
Right.
Whether they're male or female.
With questions you have to answer.
Have to answer.
Like you can't just be like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And whatever you want to do. It's whatever you want to do today.
And I was just getting burnt out, and I just, what, and my whole identity was tied to training and lifting and strongman. I was just like, I want something new. So I think that's why I really haven't been in the gym for the last year, is just because
trying to do something different.
Well, yeah, and like this is a whole complete life change. So it's like if I'm gonna change, like I eventually do want to go back to the gym and train, but like now, I work 40 hours a week on top of going out to doing mics every night, so like I'm moving around enough where I'm still healthy, but like
right. But you made the artist hermitage, which is like it's something old as time. From my like, you look at the Nazca caves. You ever heard of those? In France, and then you talk about how like these just like old men. I'm not comparing comedians to gurus. I'm comparing all artists to people who like make sacrifice in order to make like enrich other people's lives. It's strange, like they run away. You know what I mean? Like everyone at some point or another, you like to think goes through that period in their life, like a renaissance.
And
I'm honestly like, you say you're jealous of my energy. I'm jealous of like, so you come in with way more wisdom. So like you probably know tenfold when to shut your mouth in a setting than I do, or you probably know like what like, you know what I mean? Like I'm green essentially, and you there's so much I wish I wouldn't have had to learn in comedy that I had to learn in comedy. You know what I mean? Still to this day, embarrassing. Every day I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah, but I think, and that's one of the, if I was going to bring any wisdom to it, it's you're good that you started young. Like do this young. Like no matter what anybody says, fucking you're going to get up on stage and you're going to get shit, and people are going to they might laugh at you. They might laugh with you. They might talk shit. Fuck it. In 5 years, if you keep grinding, like who gives a shit? And that's one of the things that I think that, and being an athlete my whole life in the military, like I think you also have to be disciplined. And as hilarious as that is to say as a comedian, like, any of the good comedians you look on the outside, I'm not saying I'm a good comedian yet, but you look on the outside at the good ones, like it might not look like they're disciplined. Right. But like they're hitting 5 to 10 mics, and make 5 mics a night. They're like they're crushing it. They're writing every day.
The most degenerate creature of habits you can find.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, why can you not do this with anything else in your life?
Yeah.
Like
exactly it.
You can't even go to another, like, I get it completely.
And that's how I was with strongman. It was like people are like, oh wow, like that's really cool. I'm like, yeah, but the rest of my life is not great. Like,
yeah.
I'm not saying like I'm fucking woe is me, but like
Right.
I just never really cared about anything else, so I didn't really pay attention to like.
You noticed you were missing a sense of fulfillment that you didn't even know you had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Man, I don't know if you're like the hallucinogenic thing. I don't know if are you game to talk about that on camera? I know you haven't done any of it yet.
I haven't done them yet, but yeah,
no, but you were pondering it.
Yeah, now I want to.
Yeah, I mean, you made it this far. You haven't had any like events happen, have you, with mental health?
It's weird. Like I'm definitely depressed, and that's a lot of my issues too. I think
Right.
with just coming down here and trying to do this is like A, came from a breakup.
Mm-hmm.
B, gave up my entire life trying to change like basically my entire identity.
Yeah. Yeah, if you take those mushrooms, you will feel that.
Yeah, and
you have to face it.
And and this is the first time when I got down here. Is the biggest thing is I started therapy, so I've done that weekly every week since I've been down here, and that's been a big help.
Right.
What were we talking about again?
We were talking about how you were moving. We were just really talking about comedy and how you you shedding yourself,
the mental events and
yeah,
like, tripping.
And then
stuff.
I kind of just morphed the conversation into the idea of you like the hallucinogenic experience.
Yeah,
it's come up a lot in the last three episodes, but
I'm very interested in the actual like mental health benefits about it because
right.
I wouldn't say I had like PTSD. A big issue I had when I left the Army in combat was separation, like
mm-hmm.
anxiety and like survivor's guilt.
Right.
But like there's no like I don't like hear a bang. I'm like, and fireworks don't bother me or anything like that.
It's more so just like the overhanging thoughts of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be rough.
And I've always been like a high, just very aware person, like
mm-hmm.
very
aware of your emotions.
No, not aware. I'm just saying like I'm always on high alert. Like I always have the fight or flight, and like I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I try to lift weights and stuff so I can relax. But like,
right.
I think with a guided trip, I think maybe some of that stuff, like just having that ego kill, whatever that everybody talks about.
Not even an ego death, man. I don't think in your case you have a pretty healthy sense of ego. I mean, you talk so self-awarely, but it's more so. I heard it put the best way, especially like you said, guided. Because if someone knows and now there's medicine, like there's people who studied it. Yeah. But the best way I heard is like we grow up and we become these creatures of habit, like I said earlier, mm-hmm. and you these pathways in your brain that handle certain things become callous because of certain interactions you have or certain ways you're trained or certain ways you grow up. More so grow up, right? Yeah. Or muscle memory. In your case, experience. But like then taking the hallucinogenic just like blast through that blockade and allows you to kind of like reform that neural pathway that can connect the two emotions that didn't normally connect because of your own self-protection, and you can allow yourself to kind of connect those two thoughts and then find more clarity in it. It's a straight. I'm coming off of a yesterday. All the door guys had a fun time over watching the Super Bowl, and we watched the most important sporting event in the world. Going, why does this matter? And then Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre came out. We're like, what? But you bet your ass we ripped the shit out of 50 Cent. 50 Cent is so old, man.
Yeah.
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't. I honestly, I got stoned and I started figuring out Black Dog by Led Zeppelin, and I went on like a 5-hour just.
I've been diving into Incubus lately on my
guitar.
Yeah, because there's so many like little pretty simple chordscapes.
Yeah, I saw the upside down thing.
You saw this
meme,
dude? Let's watch this. I will probably get fucking booted for this, but I don't even care. I mean, what? I'm not gonna lose. Anyways, yeah, but this is a good time to mention JOKR Glass or JOKRdesigns.com. They sponsor this podcast. They dropped off some really cool glass with me the other week, and I've been enjoying the shit out of it. Here you go. It's dirty as hell. That's it. That's how you know I've been using it. That's my endorsement. Thanks, Parker.
It works well. And it's Delta 8 in there for anybody wondering.
Yeah, it is. But see, he's upside down, and you're like, oh, maybe his face just looks like that because he's upside down.
No, but is this wait
over? Yeah.
Was that the camera, or was it? Are they trying to do like
No, he really
candy
was.
shop?
He really was. Yeah. So he was actually hanging upside down. They didn't do the camera. I don't know why they didn't do the camera.
So he was actually hanging upside down. Right?
Yeah.
But what's that video where he's hanging upside down in it?
I think it's Candy Shop.
So was that Candy Shop that he's singing? So I wonder if that was planned.
No, it's in the club.
No, he is upside down because he's doing the gym for In the Club.
Look at this. They're like, he's so old. He's like distracted by the women around him.
Oh, dude.
He's
look
like,
at those women.
Yeah, of course.
But
he's giving the performance of his lifetime, arguably, and he's sitting there and he's like, God damn.
See, I think he was trying to recreate that video, and all these people are like, "Oh, I grew up with 50." Just didn't remember that that's what the video was about.
Right. I mean,
that's what I think.
It's like somewhere in their mind, they're like, "Yeah, man, that was sick. You were hanging upside down and everything. We should do it like that." And then like it happened, and we're all like, "Yeah, that no one really remembered that or cared." Like that wasn't. If anything, it was I already know 50 Cent for Vitamin Water.
Yeah.
Like that's like the most embarrassing, but he turned it around.
Lifetime.
Yeah.
Sign that, and what Coca-Cola bought it overnight and had like $500 million
in Bitcoin or whatever it was. Wasn't that something to do with it?
That was a while ago. No, that's
he like sold it for Bitcoin or bought it for Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, I think he had his stock. Like he had stocks in the XXX brand, and then Coca-Cola bought Vitamin Water, and like overnight he became like
a billionaire,
half a billionaire, and then I think something happened where he sold it for Bitcoin, and we know what happened on Bitcoin.
Wow.
I think. Don't quote me on that.
So now 50 Cent just owns a cognac brand. He's looking thicker than a Snicker, dude. So I don't know if you can say that about 50 Cent.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't want to get on his radar.
I met him one time. By met him, I mean his security personnel shoved me out of the way while I was working at the club he was coming to. That's on an off day. I was working the door one night.
That's
I'm
great.
like, hey, how's it going? His bag. Yeah, man.
Yeah, those security guards don't give a fuck.
No, they don't. And they're huge, man. They were all massive. He's been shot before, though. So that makes complete sense. I'm not after him now. Who's after him now?
I don't think anybody, man. I think he's just chilling.
Young Thug got shot. He was paranoid. You ever listen to Young Thug?
No.
I didn't really listen to him that much either. Just a little bit in college.
I don't know. Dude, I don't really listen to much hip hop after like 2005.
Well, you just said you were playing what? Pearl Jam?
Zeppelin. Black Dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said Painted Black, my bad. What am I doing?
I don't know.
There we go.
All right. Oh, there's my chicken tenders in the background. Nice.
How long you been playing guitar?
How old am I? 38. 26 years.
You're a put your mind to player, aren't you?
Yeah.
Like if you want to learn something, you put your mind to it, you can learn it.
Yeah, I have two speeds. It's 0 or 100.
Can you jam?
Yeah.
Like chord or scales?
Yeah, I've honestly, it was a big hindrance. I had spent so long, like I wanted to be this amazing lead guitarist, and all I did was practice scales, and I think it fucked me up a lot because I wasn't, and so like probably just since I moved here, because my roommate luckily has a bunch of guitars, like I don't know where to look.
Right. Oh, that's the camera right there.
Yeah.
Show him those big blue eyes, Zach.
I've been just trying to learn like classics and but like the whole thing, and that's really made me a better guitar player. I think I pushed away like, no, I want to be my own version guitar player until I started actually like learning how to put things together so it's melodic and not just
right.
I can rip apart a scale left and right, but it still sounds like a scale at the end of the day.
Exactly.
So
yeah, I played last night. Like I said, we were all having fun, and I played with some comedians. One comedian was Yonder, dude. Yonder can play the fuck out of. Have you played with him or anything like that?
No, I haven't.
Have you heard him play?
Yeah.
Wow.
One night at Vulcan, we went down, and he was amazing.
I don't even understand. His finger, dude, was melting my brain last night. That's insane.
And he's got a voice on him, too.
There's so many weird, uniquely talented people around us.
Oh, yeah. And I think most of the door guys are musicians, too. I think Bilal plays bass.
Bilal plays bass.
Maybe that's it.
I play a little bit of everything. Last night I couldn't play anything. I was so Zap. I was playing keyboard. I was just playing like 4 fingers on the keyboard, just like just like playing a little melody on the top of it. Oh man.
Yeah.
How many mics are you hitting a week now that you live here?
Usually at least 8 to 10. I try to hit a week. I need to start doing more. I feel like I'm getting too much into like a groove of doing the same mics over and over, which I love all of them, but I need more.
Right.
Because I need different rooms and different crowds. But
has anyone thrown you on a show or anything yet?
No. There was talk of maybe the veteran show in March.
I'll book you this Saturday. You gotta, if you're free.
Okay.
They'll pay you too. It's the gun show.
The gun show.
It's it's actually at a gun store.
Oh, nice.
It's owned by a gay black Republican man. He's a hoot. He gives us free beer and free pizza. He pays us all like $40 a pop, and then he plugs it on his podcast.
Wow.
Can you imagine what it's about? And we do comedy for those folks.
Is it about intersectionality and?
I have no idea, honestly. I think it's more it's like along the writer's side than we'd imagine. But he's like I said, he's a phenomenal host to us, and they ask minimal from me, and I ask minimal from them.
Yeah,
we literally put it on in their storage room in the back. You can shop for guns. They take Bitcoin. That's nuts, man. It's the most Austin thing ever, and it's just the most loose leaf friend show I've ever experienced. I'm just like, they're like, can we get a poster? I'm like, yeah, and then we do the poster, and then like I booked the comics the week of.
Yeah,
because like the crowd can either be a hit or miss. But I tell comics, I'm like, you're not going to get paid $40 anywhere else.
Yeah, no.
It's just not going to happen. So, yeah, man, I'd love to have you.
Yeah, dude. That'd be
Come
great.
out there. And then you can do as much time as you want. That's the other thing. If it was my show, all he asked me to do is book it.
Yeah.
He's like, just literally get comics in the door. I'm like, okay, I can do that for you. If it was my show, everyone would have a time.
Yeah.
But he's just like, you just go until you don't want to. I'm like, this is the worst idea ever. But in his mind, it's like inclusivity, not like in a inclusivity way, but just like, no, there's no, you're done when you're done. They don't get it.
It feels very Southern to me. Right. Just like, you do what you got to do.
What do you mean you need a time frame?
That's
like, yeah, man, you do need a time frame.
That's something I'm getting used to is Southernness again.
Oh, the friendliness of it all.
Just
there's battered chicken right there.
I'm from New Jersey, then like, I'm just a very like I got shit to do person. So like driving here has made me insane. An insane.
Yeah, man. I see your Facebook posts, man. I see them. So I'm like, you just gotta let that go,
dude. It's like every day I'm just like, I don't think it can get any worse. And then every day I'm just like, wow, this is fucking astonishing.
How bad drivers are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think about it as happy survival. I'm just like, I'm just happy I'm out here. You know what I mean? I'm happy, and then but I know what you're saying.
Yeah. And, I understand. It's just I think Ohio is like that a lot, too, in the city. It's like you get a bunch of people coming from rural areas into a big city. And they're used to driving out in the country. Mm-hmm. And then you're just like, oh, we're all going to condense. And it's like.
It's crazy. It's probably taking you the same amount of time to get anywhere, though.
Yeah.
Between driving like 20 minutes to get into town. Because I used to live in Huntsville, so I know exactly what you're talking about. You drive 30 minutes to get anywhere. It's like 30 minutes to Walmart.
Yeah.
And that's like, and you pass nothing along the way. Like a gas station called Smiley's. That's literally, and then like 3 federal prisons, nice. And that's it. So I get what you're saying, but then I moved to the DFW and it took the same amount, but it was traffic, and honestly, DFW is just huge. So it was like you'd take 45 minutes to get from Fort Worth to Dallas to go hit mics across the town, and then here it's like it takes me 15 minutes to get anywhere.
Yeah.
If it's 15 minutes away, that's far. I'm like, I don't even want to go there. It's not worth trying. You know what I mean?
Like, I don't even mind as long as I'll take the longer route if I know traffic. If I'm just not going to stop driving, it's all the stop and go that drives me nuts. And I don't know, whatever.
Where were you in the pandemic hit?
I was in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
And, pandemic sucked, man. Like that was a big thing that messed with my head too. For like, I wanted to get out of strongman. I just wasn't feeling it anymore. And
right.
Yeah, pandemic sucked.
Well, it seems like such a global, like you were saying, it's such a global community thing.
Yeah.
That it's like that community probably took a shiner pretty bad. You know what I mean? Like it probably went to take a nap for a minute just because everyone was handling it so wildly different.
Yeah.
That, I couldn't imagine, man. Did you feel that, like the leaving of it, or was that what got to you? The community like dissipated, or?
Yeah, well, I think
just the reassessment.
Just getting older, enough injuries, just kind of,
Mm-hmm.
you know, during the pandemic, it was just kind of like, what am I doing with my life? And then I got in the relationship, and then that ended, and I was like,
So it was like a year?
Yeah, it was just like a year long, just.
That's all it takes.
So, and it's something I wanted to do for so long. I just finally bit the bullet and said, fuck it. And I was like, I don't need to be a strongman anymore. I've done this for 12 years. And
now you're like 8 months in?
8 months in comedy. And,
damn, man.
The hard part is, like, I keep getting notes from people, like,
mm-hmm.
bring strongman into comedy, like, talk about it. I'm just like, how do I relate strongman to?
Right.
That's the hard part.
Right. I think what they mean is just bring more, like, people talk about comedy so much, and like, if everyone ever asks me, they're like, "What? How'd you come up with that joke?" I'm like, "You write uniquely to you."
Yeah.
That way, it's like, if it's not funny, at least it was a unique thing. So even in the meantime, while you're setting up your punch, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think
like it's
strongman.
so
I can
unique.
get that. Yeah,
it's so unique that it's like, and most people don't know what it is. It's like, oh, I do strongman. Like, oh, it's like Iron Man. I'm like, no.
right.
Like bodybuilding, no.
Right.
I just say, Thor from Game of Thrones. That's what he does. Oh yeah, all right. There used to be that Polish guy, Pujanowski.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's growing a lot bigger. And I'd like to work it into my jokes, but I'm just like,
I think there's something funny that when I think of a strongman, I think of like financial stability, because like you're like not even financial stability, like you're eating.
Yeah,
you have to be eating. And then I think like the funniest thing for me, just at the top of my head, is like the idea that now you're like trading chicken and rice for chicken McNuggets.
Literally, yeah.
And it's like you're happy about it.
Yeah, dude, it is nice. It's
nuts, man.
And honestly, like not thinking about eating all day,
right,
has been a huge stress reliever.
Mm-hmm.
And it is funny that you say that you would think like strongmen are financially.
Yeah, I didn't mean financial. I just meant stable.
Stable,
right?
It's just one of those things. Like, I guess any sport, the good people are gonna be. Some of them are very successful, but there's a lot of them that are just, their whole focus is strongman.
Right.
And I know guys that just said, I'll die on this competition floor. Like, it's that, and I think the same thing. It's any pursuit, if you're that invested,
right,
you go 100% in. It's just.
Have you seen any guys just like ruin their life because of steroids or anything like that?
I wouldn't really say steroids. I've seen some people have some like heart effects from taking too much of the stronger anabolics, trenbolone being one of them.
Right.
A lot of guys, what happens is they push and push and push, and then they start getting on pain meds and stuff, and that'll fuck you up. Yeah, I mean,
good old opiates.
It's a. When you have that mentality, like, I tore my bicep, had a complete distal tear on my left bicep.
Oof.
And I had that reattached. And so I was in surgery Monday, and I was back in training Saturday. And, like, I just did one arm stuff. But like,
and I'm sure you weren't supposed to be there, right?
No, absolutely. They told me I couldn't train for 6 months.
What was your idea? What was your mindset doing that? Just like no pain, no gain kind of thing, or
well, like, so I wasn't using that arm specifically. I was doing like one arm like snatches and stuff like that, and then, but it was just my mindset was get blood flowing, try to get as much nutrients through my body as possible, and like.
But my understanding, like, if you're going by that, like, so much of the science says like there's so much done in recovery though as well, right?
Yeah. Well, and this is
looking back. Yeah, but I say looking back, you probably regret that doing stuff like that, because I know I sure as hell do.
I wish I was smarter about it. I think definitely
You ever hit something that hurt?
Here's some misinformation.
Remember when you were like 15 and you used to just like hit something that hurt, like playing football? Like your wrist would be hurt, and you'd be like, you have to replay, you'd be like, start hitting it, and, like, and then now like thinking back, I haven't thought about this since like till now. I'm like, what a dumb thing.
Yeah, you kind of like the pain though, right?
Yeah,
it's. Like, so like I always say, when I tore my bicep, they told me I couldn't lift for 6 months. Within 7 months, I was stronger than I was before I tore my bicep. And that was, I think, because the medical people out there have so much liability that they say we don't want you to train for 7 months. But a lot of the research that's coming out now is they're saying like as soon as you can do active recovery, there'll probably be some good fucking images there. Oh yeah, it looks real good.
Look at that one.
That's basically how mine. I had a distal tear, so it balled up in the top. But because you want to get, once you can have it moving and get blood in there and stuff, you want to keep that going because, and like, so I would literally, as soon as I got my cast off, I could move my arm. It was as small as like taking a can and putting it up on the shelf, or like taking a can and like turning it over, like,
right.
But just getting blood in that arm and yeah, you know, and then just in the gym, just being smart, I would do stuff. And as soon as I felt anything weird, I would just leave.
Right.
And so within 7 months, I was 100% or more. And that was without steroids. I didn't start anything until I was like 35.
I have a buddy who's really into them.
Steroids?
Yeah, all of it. He just like the idea. Like I have to talk him down so much. Like, I think I'm good on horse growth medicine. I'm like, why are you talking about this right now? He's like, I think I've been reading about it, you know. I'm just like, dude, there's no way you're going to like, you're not gonna like. I know you have the idea in your mind that horse growing pills are gonna make you a better person because you've convinced yourself. I don't know.
Steroids are a funny topic because there's so much misconception about them, but there's also Americans overdo them a lot. A lot of the Europeans I've talked to, they're just kind of like minimal dose for recovery. And dude, I could tell you some of the protocols I've seen from people. I'm just like, Jesus fucking Christ. Like there's a really old story about this guy named Nasser who was a bodybuilder, and somebody was asking him about steroids, and Nasser said, how much test do you take? And the guy said 750, meaning like 750 a week.
How do you spell it?
NASSAR B just
Boombali? Bahubali?
Just do bodybuilder, like Nasser bodybuilder.
Holy cow, this guy?
Yeah. And so somebody was like, he said 750, he's like, a week or a day? And he was like, a week. And Nasser's like, oh, I take like double that a day. Just a lot of these guys, they've just been known, and they just take so much, which I think is, you know, you want with anything, even with exercise and lifting, you want the minimal effective dose. So basically, it's like, you know, a lot of guys think go in and lift for hours and hours and hours. Like you don't grow in the gym. You need to go in, elicit a response, and then recover. And so it's like same thing with these. Is if you're gonna do them, I'm not fucking advocating them, but if you're gonna do them, use as little as you need to get an effect. Because another way I've heard it explained that I like is like, it's like playing poker. You don't want to use your ace until you have to, you know?
Right.
So it's like, why would, you know, anything, weight loss, anything like that. It's like, all right, just start walking every day. Like don't go right into diet, walking, and diet pills.
Yeah. Well, they say
like
with substance, whatever you take away or whatever you do, like, because usually medication is making your body do something faster than it should or something like that. Whatever, you don't get that back. Yeah. It's like when one way or another, at the end of the line, you're going to end up paying for it. So I'd imagine, do minimal of everything, right? So
yeah, and you test, and I always say if it's not measurable, it's not manageable. So like, and you see, all right, is this working? No, go up a little more. Is this working? No, go up a little bit more. But like everybody, especially in America, like they just want to just go all in up front, and that's just like that's a disaster right there.
Right.
So.
Shit.
Yeah. It's a wild, honestly, the fitness industry and just in general is so wild, and it's so dumb.
People have been trying to be perfect since we've been created is what it feels like though, man. It just seems like it's another form of art.
But it's such, the fitness industry is such a facade, I would say. It's a very lot of unhealthy people telling people how to be healthy, which is hilarious. But
you gotta feel good looking like that, no? Or are you just like miserable walking down the street? You don't think you don't feel good?
No. When you're that big, I mean, you get back cramps. You get like, I remember when I used to be 330 pounds, which I wasn't shredded or anything, but I was 100 pounds heavier than I am now.
Yeah.
And I'd walk to class this is when I was at Ohio State, and like my back would be like cramped just from walking. And like, it's not, strongman is not a healthy sport. Bodybuilding, it's an extreme sport. And so like, it's hilarious to me when, you have bodybuilders like trying to preach this health shit. I'm just like, bro, like you're fucking dehydrating yourself and you're taking fucking God knows how many drugs and fat burners. Like, shut up. Just
right. You look good.
yeah, you look good. And that's
But you are dying faster than everyone here.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's essentially like walking around with a 36 cylinder engine.
Right.
You're going to burn way more everything, and you're probably going to have to be repaired a lot more, I'd imagine. So what I'm getting at is that I'm fat and beautiful, and I'm going to live longer than you.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what I'm getting at right now. That's why I had you on, Zach. I just wanted to tell you that.
Well, and that's a big part of it too. Is I went into atrial fibrillation last April. For those of you that don't know what that is, it's basically when your heart just decides to be an asshole and skip around at any beat it wants. And luckily, it wasn't blood. There's no cardiac issues. As I had sleep apnea because I was just that big.
Yeah.
And so I had to go, get all the drugs to try to set it back. That didn't work, so they shocked me.
Are you a back sleeper?
No, I'm a stomach sleeper.
Really?
But I hate sleeping on my back. But I do have a CPAP now, which
my
actually
mom has to use one too.
Yeah.
She's a back sleeper though. So
well, it's good if you're a back sleeper because those things are tremendous. Otherwise, I figured out how to kind of sleep on my side / stomach with it. But now that I'm like 230, 235 right now, I really don't need it because I'm not as big as I was. If you're over 250, like you have to have one. It's just like you have sleep apnea if you're over 250 usually. So, but so that was a big thing too. Is like just coming to grips with my mortality. Like, do I still want to do this? And life's not fucking getting any shorter,
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, you didn't pick something that was gonna make it longer either.
Oh no, absolutely.
You just doubled the different kind of drugs you were gonna take.
Pretty much. Like, dude, when I was 16, I never expected to live past 30. If I'm being honest with you, I was just like, whatever.
Just fucking fireball through the hallway, basically.
Yeah, I thought I was just gonna be a shooting star that was gonna fucking burn out at like 30 and just be like, whatever.
What year did you join the military?
I was 2001. I was 17.
That makes sense. That's when a lot of people join the military.
August 21st, 2001.
So right before 9/11.
Yeah. I have a story about
how hard did you shit your pants?
Honestly, I was like, all right, well, this is what I joined for. So
I just forgot. I totally had you on to talk about the whole Russia-Ukraine thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I bet that's what it was segue to that, I guess.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit a while ago, man. And it's only, Marcus is under the impression, which I'm starting to believe, like that America is propagandizing making it bigger than we think it is.
I think 100%.
You think we won a war?
Yeah, I think so many people think dude, the biggest war hawks in this country, and I'm not a Republican or a Democrat, are Democrats. Right. And it's just behind the scenes. Everybody thinks, oh, Bush with the World War or the last war, and blah blah blah. But like, everybody's like, oh, Clinton never went to war. It's like we were in Kosovo. He hired private civilian contractors in the Congo. Like, and with this, there's so much in that area with the oil and just history between Ukraine and Russia. And Ukraine, it's a democracy in name.
Right.
And so, I honestly, I don't know enough about it. I would really hate it because I have Ukrainian and Russian friends, and I don't want them to be my enemy, especially my one who is an ex-Russian Navy SEAL.
Right. What would that mean for you and your friendship with him? Honestly, it seems like it's...
I don't know. I hope with...
Because, I mean, we were at peace with Russia during your time, no? Or, I mean, we were, we've always been...
We've always had our thing with Russia. But, like, I think...
Our fucking mean cousin.
My hope is that social media and just... I hope our world's connected enough that, we all know that it's not the Russian people. I hope they know it's not the American people. It's these fucking assholes. And
right.
like
bigger interest.
I think the world's looking at America right now and Canada and just being like, I don't think they like their government either.
Right.
And so it's, I don't know. I mean, combat's a weird thing. When I was
that's
there,
obviously what everyone seems like. That's the number one goal, to avoid all combat.
Yeah.
In any situation. I mean, moving forward, really moving into a more and more modern world, and like the ramifications of combat are only going to get worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
It seems like it's completely, but at the same time, Ukraine's just not going to be like, we'll be Russia now. 62% of their country's in favor of westernized governments, and then it's even more. It's like 64, 65 is in favor of joining NATO.
Yeah.
So it's like they're afraid to be taken back by Russia in this weird way. Well, at least the majority of them are. But also, we don't know if those numbers, we don't know anything is real. Over there, just like they look at us, we're probably all fugazi to them as well. So
yeah, and I just honestly at this point, I hope that I think the people have more power than they think, and I hope it kind of that's where it stems from. If it, soldiers are going to do what soldiers got to do, and I would never harbor an animosity towards Russian civilians or soldiers because that's
especially
their job,
right?
And even
I
looking
think
back
Putin's
on my
going
time,
for like Norway, and he wants to capture Spotify headquarters or whatever they're at, and he wants to own Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
He just wants to own them.
Well, dude, when I was in Finland, I remember like watching. There was up on the news. It was just like Russian jet. Like they were worried about Russia invading then. That was 2017, 2018.
Right. Well, they invaded Crimea
in
2014, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I just graduated high school then. So all my friends that had joined were like, oh, fuck. Like, is anything about to happen? So.
Yeah, but we've been like almost going to war with Russia for fucking since Cold War,
Right. Putin's a funny and smart guy.
He is. And
Biden's funny too, though. I will say Biden, I'm not going to I don't, never liked politician or whatever, but he's funny. Just like our last president was hilarious. Like, he's funny. Did you see the thing the other day? He was like, someone was like, do you think that inflation is a political asset? And then when you think like Biden is not there at all, he goes, oh yeah, inflation's great. We need tons of inflation, more inflation. Stupid ass question. He's like mutters under his breath, a stupid damn question. And you're just like, that's funny. But the way he answers, he's like nodding off, like he's not paying attention. So like you can't, as much as I think I just hope, nobody. Yeah, it's a complicated situation, dude.
It's a very complicated situation, especially since it's funny with the way the military is going right now.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, you just mentioned social media in the conversation. Like in 2001, that wouldn't even been probably a part of an influencing factor of any. Some war, I'd imagine, but like, you know what I mean? Like the people's voice is so in your face now.
Yeah, and I think MySpace wasn't even a thing until I think 2003. Yeah. But it was I completely forgot what I was talking about.
Mm-hmm. See him back in you're talking about something about like your friends in Russia and how like, you wouldn't hold anything against that. That was a little bit ago though.
Yeah, I don't know. We were talking about Biden and Trump and how Biden's all crazy. And,
Biden is nuts, dude. Putin is nuts. Oh, I was talking about Putin. Backtracking even more. He was like, Putin is funny.
Yeah.
Because he said, we have nowhere left to retreat to. And I thought that was the most hilarious thing he's probably ever said. It's like, you have half the globe to retreat to.
Yeah, but that's the thing. And that's the thing. They don't have to retreat too far back. Like, it'd be hard to do a land invasion, as we've seen with Napoleon and everybody else. Hitler, they couldn't do it.
I think he's waiting for the Olympics to end because he doesn't want to make his buddy down there mad.
Yeah.
It's like, you know how much time and money we put into this? You're going to start a world war during our Olympics?
I don't think they put much time and money into those fucking Olympics.
Well, no, the Uyghurs did.
The Uyghurs. they didn't put any money into it. They just put a lot of time and sweat.
The stadium you see here is built of bone.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's so wild. Yeah. Our political atmosphere right now. And dude,
I have a podcast.
And that's what I kind of hate is just like, it's such a divided country for really no reason. It's because like why are we fighting over who the government is? Everyone in the government sucks. Like,
it's divided by people who don't go out.
Exactly. It's people who just listen to CNN or Fox News and just don't go any further into it. It's like, what the fuck?
The people who aren't living are the people who decide what the people who are living get to do most of the time.
I like that.
Yeah.
Is that Walt Whitman?
I don't know. I might be. I just know that you used to go to an open mic if you wanted to get an idea across, and now you just go on your phone and tweet it and hope that a couple buddies retweet it at the right time during peak Twitter usage hours, and then...
It's funny, I used to write so much more on social media before I started just doing stand-up. Now I'm like, no, I don't want to fucking put that out there yet.
I used to tweet so much. I used to have great little fucking little tags and stuff. No. Jeez, man. Well, we got to 50 minutes.
Oh, nice.
So, it is almost 5:40. I'm actually going to go. You said you don't know if you're hitting any mics or you think you're done for the day.
Probably go to Kill Tony and then might do Shakespeare tonight. I'm not sure.
I was on Kill Tony last week.
Yes, you were.
Tripped.
Did awesome.
Getting on the stage, though.
I remember that.
I'm never going to let it go. And I do not want to watch it because I do not want to watch myself fall.
I haven't watched any of my Kill Tony appearances. I can't do it.
I don't blame you. I might not watch this one. I might just let the followers flow in from this one and not watch it. I don't even want to read comments. Like, stupid fat boy fucking trip.
Did they give you a lot of shit in the interview?
No, it was more so like I'd have been on so many times, and I was just like during that up until about 4 days ago, I was like in a lull, but like I just wasn't feeling myself. I wasn't relaxed. I was like thinking too much. The interview didn't go well, to my eyes. Like he just like at one point Tony forgot I was even up there. He's like, "Oh yeah, you're still up here." I was like, "Yep." I was like, "I'm ready to leave here whenever you want."
Yeah.
I was ready to leave after my set. I should have just been like, "Thank you," and walked off and then like just not come back. I think we talked about the door one time, right? Yeah. Just like walking away, like is the ultimate power move. I'm like, no, you have to come back to the interview. No, I don't want to.
No, I don't.
I don't want to. I actually quit this job too. I'm not going to work anymore. I'm done. Thank you. That was my comedy career.
That'd be funny.
Good. You'd probably get a pretty good splash from it.
Yeah. For a second.
Yeah, I'm going to go try to hit like 4 or 5 minutes of stage time tonight just because working at Vulcan, you got to get it where you can get it. So, shit, dude. Well, it was great having you on, man.
Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate it.
Zach Gallmann. It's Gallmann, right?
It is Gallmann.
Yeah.
Gallmann. Everybody says Gallmann.
Gallmann. You got double letters on both sides.
Yeah, I always say it's like Allman Brothers with a G.
Shoot, what was your Insta one more time? Drop that at the end here.
Z Galls, just ZGALLS.
Sweet, and I'll make sure it pops up on your name and everything. Let's get us bigger real quick. Yo. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching the Phillip Garcia show. We'll see you next week or at the end of this week. We'll figure it out. Love you guys.
Bye guys. Love you.